This is a quick, dirty, unbiased, and unfiltered review about a Honda CRF 125 FB by the dad of the kid who likes to ride the bike. So, parents' perspective on one of these things. This is the taller model, the FB. It's ridden by my son, who's 9 years old and 90 pounds. I wouldn't recommend this bike for somebody that size who is new to riding because it would be a little bit tall for him. My son's already experienced riding a bike. He knew how to operate a manual clutch. So all I really had to do was lower the triple clamps down a little bit, which lets him get a tippy toe down on one side of the bike, and that's plenty because your feet go on the pegs. They don't go on the ground. Newer rider though, this wouldn't be a very confident, inspiring bike at this height if they were that size, unless they had abnormally long legs. Some things I don't like about the bike: wheels are typical big 4 chintzy rims. There was already rust in them when I changed the tires. The bike had maybe 10 hours on it at that point, at this point, current state. The factory tires, as you would expect, are terrible. Not really all that great if you're riding trails on softer terrain. They might be fine if you're somewhere harder that you don't need as much, as much dig out of the tires. Handlebars, same as the rims, were crappy, made out of silly putty. They didn't survive the first trail ride we took the bike on, and promptly bent on the trail. I replaced them with these Pro Taper KLX DRZ 110 bend bars. It took about an inch off of each end to make them fit right. It's just about the same size as the OEM bars, so it's a good replacement for when inevitably you would need one of those. I also didn't like that to get one of these things brand new, every dealership I contacted was adding about $1,000 in freight and uncrating or whatever else they add to a new bike. Fees to get one out the door. That doesn't include tax, so $3,500 MSRP plus another $1,000 in dealer fees plus the tax would have put this thing at about $5,000 if I got a brand new one. I do not think it is worth $5,000. I do think it is worth $3,500. That's something that just about all manufacturers need to deal with, and I think that's why a lot of parents would have just ordered one, some cheap Chinese thing on Amazon and threw it away when the kid either outgrew it or broke it and they couldn't find parts to repair the thing. Things I do like about it: it's a Honda. Everything's, some of the components, like I said, rims, handlebars, that kind of thing that you expect are cheap, but it's very reliable. Everything's pretty well thought out. Maintenance, oil changes, chain adjustment, that kind of thing is very easy, and really that's probably about all this bike should need. Eventually you'll have to change some fork oil, if it even has fork oil. Some don't. Nice mellow engine. It's easy to ride on softer terrain in the woods, especially for a new rider. They don't have to work as much to manipulate the throttle, which is good, especially when you've got somebody that's probably new to riding a dirt bike and still learning the way around a manual clutch. Clutch on this, by the way, is fairly light. I can pull it very easily with one finger, which means that a 10-year-old that's new to this can manage with two, just the way you'd expect. It's got a nice disc brake up in the front, plenty to stop the bike. The rear is a drum. That's really all a bike of this size needs. The disc would be nice, but I don't think it's necessary in this case. Other than that, the biggest thing, as a dad, that I appreciate is that the bike is fuel injected, which means you don't have to teach the kid how to fiddle around with a clutch or a choke to get things to work. You turn the key, the light will go out to let you know the fuel pump is primed, and then you push the starter button, the bike starts right up. Super easy. You don't have to worry about the bike getting flooded if it's crashed and turned upside down in a ditch. The other nice thing about it is that I don't have to stop to kickstart the thing if it gets crashed in the woods. It's it's very easy to get running again, so it makes it a lot easier when we're out trail riding together. That's everything I can think of. Like I said, all in all, great bike. I think the dealerships need to work on some of their fees. People buy them, so it must be working. However, adding $1,000 to a $3,500 machine to get a new one is just silly.